without further ado, David, I have some questions for you.
Sure.
Do you consent to being asked?
I do.
Okay. My curiosity has a lot to do with the intersection of you creating art, you advocating for art, and you living in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
That's the scope of this interview.
Okay.
My very first question, when was the first time you were aware of art as something separate from the real world?
So art's outside of myself, right?
Okay.
That I create, or I think the first time I had an epiphany about what art really is through probably maybe elementary school. I want to go dig deep because art has always been in my life. I think it's been a thread that I've always looked at and enjoyed and had to be involved in. But I remember distinctly, doing this project as a little kid in probably 4th grade, and it had to do with the Mayans and the Incas. And this reminds me of it actually, because I remember having to do this giant mural. It was a collaboration project with my classmates, and it was about indigenous people, Mayans, and we had to build this beautiful, really large canvas. And I remember doing it, and then we got a lot of praise for it, and it was beautiful, and somehow we executed that. And I think I started to understand like materials and what you can exude outside of your body just by manifesting like a thought or a concept.
Got it, okay.
So I'll always remember that. And then I just always leaned into art since that moment, I think, through classes and education.
Am I understanding that it was the materials and the physicality that somehow grasped you?
Yes, and I can even smell it because we had to burn the edges and we used oil and we made it look ancient. I remember that.
Okay,
Yeah.
That reminds me of one time making a map for school and we poured coffee on it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And crumpled it.
Yeah.
For viewers, we're sitting in front of one of David's pieces. What do you call this piece?
It's taken a turn. It was a backdrop to a ceramic show, one of my artists, Jennifer KARL. This actually represents the lake region where she's from, Coro Lake District in Mexico. I had never worked this large before, so I kind of took all my notes from her and created it in the space. I locked myself in with great music and just went there. I think I went into like a trance and used Japanese calligraphy brushes, Japanese ink, paints, spray paint, and I created this world. And ever since I created it, it's become this, it's just grown. It has its own legs now. So it's called Planet Coro, Dream the World You Want. And it's become prints, it's become other backdrops. It's just become a very significant piece in my life based on some of the work I do with my shaman as well.
I remember you saying that. Thankful for the shamans. Thank you, shamans.
I know, for
This
sure.
one goes out to you.
Yeah.
I wanted to take a step back because you also mentioned something interesting when discussing your Mayan piece. It was well praised.
Yes.
What role did that play in?
It was such a big piece. I remember the teacher putting it above the chalkboard. You know, back then the chalkboards were as long as this wall.
Right.
And it was a long, massive, it was longer, twice the size of this, like lengthwise. And so everybody got to see it. It was almost like a showpiece for the project we were doing.
Okay.
It was kind of like the discovery of the US, like when Columbus came here and what the impact was to the indigenous people.
Right.
You know, so we showed different aspects to their living, how they ate, how they gathered, how they lived,
Right.
you know?
Right. That's forward thinking of your
It was, I know,
curriculum writer.
I don't remember all that process. I just remember seeing it when we were done.
Sure.
And like, how did we do this? We're just little kids.
Right.
You know?
And you created something that set a mood and a space for your classroom for a time.
And I remember the smell of it, but I remember rolling it up too, and just the sound of it. You know, I remember all the tactile things of it.
That's what I'm noticing in your response. You like the touch and the feel.
Okay.
Noted. Where do you create? And I want you to answer that question in both the micro and the macro.
Yeah. Where do I create? I think on a macro level, I'm such a big thinker, and I don't know where that comes from. Like if you put me into task, I'm going to connect all the dots. I think for me, I walk through the world, and I intentionally do this. I walk through very open, like a sponge, attracting a lot of information, attracting a lot of people, attracting a lot of ideas and innovation and thoughts and ideas and concepts. And I think I just house them in my body, in my cells. And somehow they never leave. They just sit there and resonate. And then micro, you know, those are all the little things that I take in, and they're, you know, they're percolating in there. And then when I get called to do a job, hopefully, like conceptually, I hope I pull little nuances of all those little bits of information like a computer, and hopefully something will spit out that's kind of unique in my own way. But yeah, I think in some way I'm a visionary, and I like to think outside the box and try to connect the dots. My goal is, you know, when I created Venus and Victory, it's much larger than the space I have. We're sitting in a 10,000 square foot space now.
We don't have camera ops, so you
know.
can't see it, but we're in a very large space.
But I do have a big vision for that, and that's how big I want to go. And it really is a way to put artists to work, to collaborate, design, like just have this own world I want to create. The world I see in, you know, for other people and myself.
Right. And you do that also through your curation. Like from as much as I've known about you, you're connecting people.
Yeah.
You're putting people's works in this place and in other places.
Yeah.
That's part of your art, I'm noticing.
It's hard, it's difficult, but I think there's some great reward and joy in it for me. I think for me, of course I want to be seen and heard, but I also want other people to be seen and heard too. I think it's not easy to be an artist, and to put your work out there that you've worked so hard on, and to be a creative, it's daring, it's a risk-taking process. And to get out of your fear space and really put it out there and take criticism or acceptance, it's hard for people. So I want to be that support underneath them to push that up and, like, you know, allow that celebration of their work.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you. I think I know the answer to this, but do you love art?
Yes, it's tattooed on my arm.
Oh,
Live to love art. I had this done in like Vilnius, Lithuania, and it's my tagline. It always will be. Live to love art. And I've since added in dream the world you want. So
I noticed on your Instagram you have dream the world you want written in like little circle font. How do you do that? That's an artistic choice.
I know. That is a font generator.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Instagram will accept that formatting, apparently.
Yeah.
Nice. How often do you change your Instagram bio?
I don't. Only if we have a new show.
Okay.
Typically.
Okay, so you're pretty secure with it.
Yeah.
Because some people, you know, they just don't know what they want to represent. So congratulations on your solidity. Exactly.
Pretty solid.
I'm noticing.
Yeah.
Okay, and where is San Francisco in all of this? I was kind of fishing for you to say I create art in San Francisco because that's where your home is.
I see.
And I'm happy that, I'm just as pleased that you didn't answer that way, but you walk the streets, you notice things, you were discussing how you're a sponge.
Yeah.
We live in a funny neighborhood, the Tenderloin, world famous.
It's funny, and do you know how many times I've lived in the neighborhood and left and come back?
Right.
I've lived on Post Street so many times, in high rises, in posh apartments. It's changed so many times. I've owned places. I've moved to LA, I've moved to New York, I went around the world. I've gone to Florida. Where do I always come back? Almost to the fringe of things, and I think that might have to do with multiple things. One, there's a part of me that likes tension. There's a part of me that drives me to create when I'm living on the fringe just a little bit. there's also a part of me that I have multiple businesses. So that means I have multiple rents. So I have to walk those lines, in a smart way financially. So, San Francisco is not a cheap place to live, but I always come back home because my family's here, my friends are here, the freaks are here. I think there's something to do with this intersection in San Francisco where it's so creative, and I come here because it's so diverse. I feel like I'm seen here, I'm like I want to stay humble when I say this, but I'm kind of like a big fish operating in my home, right? But I also have a big world vision.
And that's interesting to me because San Francisco is one of the major cities, and it's decreasingly so in the last 10, maybe 15, maybe 20 years. But like it's mentioned in the same conversation with New York, Los Angeles, London. I guess Chicago's often in that conversation, but also is similar to San Francisco, is sometimes left out. What other cities are in that conversation? I guess like Tokyo and Berlin, I guess. What about it makes it slightly fringier, despite it being, I always find this juxtaposition so interesting, despite it being like the leader of like the tech boom and industry, honestly, at this moment.
Well, politically, you're always
and
going to
historically
hear
as well. As what?
Politically, too, there's that language about we're so liberal.
Right.
Everyone's always like, why do you live there? It's so expensive. And, I think there was that conversation about the lack of accountability and things, and it took longer to come out of the pandemic. I was not here, so I didn't face that.
Right.
But, I think the answer to your question truly is, I think it's a very beautiful city.
It really is.
I know all the beautiful pockets. Like, I'm an ambassador for San Francisco. I love it.
Right.
And, we have neighborhoods. I just love the diversity here, There's no question that, we're all very accepting here, and it's very diverse, and, it's a beautiful city. And I think there's a lot of creatives here.
There really are.
And I'm very hopeful. I have to be. I live here. So no matter what's going on, when even the doom loop narrative was happening, I was trying to get all my clients out of that headspace because I'm like, that's just optics on the city. Like, no, we have to stay hopeful. And you could see downtown coming back now.
I don't think I even mentioned it in your intro because there was too many sentences to cover it all. But you do a lot of glam, and you do. I want to call it face design. And so I'm curious, in that work, what's the word on the street from your clients about this place and art and everything?
So my chair, I'm in the beauty business, so that's where I make my money to fund my art business currently, I use my chair as almost like a lie detecting test. It never lies. So as many people that sit in the chair, you get a really good pulse for what's happening in the community, in culture, and community, in optics.
Yeah.
You hear everything. You hear people's fears. You hear people's life stories. You hear it all. So I use it for a really good pulse on where we're going, what's happening, how to pivot.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a good thermometer. Things have shifted a lot. I have to really stay on top of my game to keep everybody engaged and happy and not buy into any darkness at all.
I'm going to cross out my question that says, what is the downside of being an artist? It's not necessary. We know a few of the things.
Yeah.
I'll answer for you. You spoke to the insecurities. There's financial stress. There's the vulnerability. Like, you're taking what's inside of you, putting it on the outside. Then you have to face that yourself, which you might not even be aware of what was inside of you until it came into something like this, and you might not be so pleased with that.
Well, the thing about being an artist too, you have to be true to yourself no matter what it is, whatever the language is or the medium, or it's never easy. There's a judgment around it, or a fear around it, but for me, personally, just for me, nobody else, I can't stop. I thought I could walk away from it at times, all of it, and just give it up. There's such a drive in me on many aspects of my life. Like when I left during the pandemic, right before the pandemic, I thought I was going to just like live in a hammock under a palm tree.
Right.
No.
Right.
No. It didn't happen.
Yeah.
It did for 10 minutes, but I have such a drive and a will to create. That's another hashtag I use. Like, what will I create today? I create something every day.
Nice.
It's almost like that's my mantra, and it brings me joy. I have to get it out.
How do you relate?
I'm afraid that'll go away someday. That's a little bit of a fear, but what is that? Is that the candle burning out? I don't know.
I don't think that's a risk here. I'm curious. You state that halfway through your life you hung up your suit and decided. Were you creating every day during that first period of your life? Ensemble.
I've always been David. No matter what. Even when I wore a suit and tie, it was still a colorful tie. You can't hide everything. Cool. Yeah, I mean, I've always been a very creative child. That's how I coped. That was my world, Yeah.
That was how you coped. I hope you're coping less now than ever before. Like still creating, but less from a place of coping. I'm just trying to say I hope that there's less less pain in your life.
Yes.
I hope.
Absolutely.
I know there's still plenty, I'm sure, but yeah. Okay. And to your point, we're going to try and focus on the positive. There's just point well taken. I always ask this because I just feel like it's such a present entity in our world, our social world, What role does TV play in your art?
That's an interesting question. I've always enjoyed that medium, but more so than that, if I can veer out of that lane just for a minute,
Sure.
Film is more it for me.
Okay.
Film has always played a very important role in my life. Even as a little kid in Oakland at Bella Vista School, you would go to the gymnasium and watch films. And that always took me to another place of dreaming. I've always enjoyed being an art director as well. I've always enjoyed, storyboarding, color palettes, set design, costuming. It's an escape for me. I love it. I just get into all the nuances of it, the minutia of it. I love it. It takes me on a journey. I don't get into the mechanics of everything. I just love how stories are told through beauty and vision and, film.
An opportunity to dream.
Yeah.
Okay.
Totally.
Is there a particular film that visually has struck you most prominently?
There's been many films. My son and I are obsessed with films. And I'm like, he was obsessed with this film too. It was like, There Will Be Blood with Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah, fascinating.
And I kept asking Ryan, like, why am I obsessed with this film? And then I saw the book and I'm like, oh, this is why they took it verbatim. It was like perfect in its nuance and how they did it. And I think I saw it like 13 times.
Wow.
And it's a long film,
13 times, that's commitment.
Yeah. I'm a freak like that. If I love it, like Spring Awakenings, the show,
Yeah.
I saw it in New York here like 9 times.
Yes. I mean, I'll do that for sure. I relate.
Duncan Sheik, everyone got their start in that musical as German playwright. And now I'm obsessed with like The Brutalist.
Oh, I haven't gone there yet.
Oh gosh.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, so I can take those long films and like dissect them down, distill them down to like
I'm sure.
something important.
Okay.
Yeah.
If there was a question before, there's not a question now. You are an artist. What's your favorite? Do you go to the public cinemas in San Francisco?
I do.
Which one?
I mean,
which one are you so thankful that such and such is there,
Well,
even if it's reruns?
Well, I love Alamo Draft House,
yeah.
and I go to Kabuki, and so many have closed, but I'm trying to keep them alive. I'm not going enough, but
By going 13 times.
I know.
I think you're doing your part. Very cool, very cool. Okay, I actually want to get, not petty, but
Get petty.
I know you've worked with Lady Gaga. Give us some
Yeah.
stories.
Give you the dirt?
Yeah.
Well,
Not dirt, like
talk
obviously.
about the dream. Talk about the dream the world you want. So I know you guys hear it all the time, like manifest your life, right? But there is something to do with that. Your words are very powerful, right? Early on Gaga's career, my daughter and I went to Bill Graham Presents to see maybe the Monster Ball, I don't remember. And we were up front and center just waiting for it to come on. And I saw everybody up on stage and I go, fuck, those are my people. I just want to make music videos with them. Well, who knew a few years later I would be living in New York because I intentionally went there to ramp up my creative clout, which meant if I'm going to give up everything I have, which was a lot, I'm going to make it count. So ramping up my creative clout meant if I'm at this level and if I'm going to give up everything I have, I'm going to go to this level. I don't know how that's going to happen, but with clear intention, that better happen for me. So I make all my big moves and I'm working in Soho.
Hold on, I want to interrupt you.
Yeah.
You said with clear intention.
Yeah.
How clear? How specific?
So I used to work on multi-million-dollar projects in the corporate world, right? Learjets, everything. And I would have to map out a 7-year project. And back then, not everything was digital, so I had binders this thick. So there were thousands of prerequisites, hierarchies, everything else, right? So I run my entire life like that. Still, like I know how to connect all the dots. I will conceptualize an idea, connect all the dots, and get to execution and then deliverables. So when I'm in that mind space and I'm going to leave San Francisco and I'm going to go there, it's with the very clear intent that I can visualize that that's what I want.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know if that answers the question.
It does. It does.
So
now we're in Soho?
yes, living in Hell's Kitchen, working in Soho, figuring it out. And Gaga says it takes one person to recognize you and believe in you. And it happened. Somebody came in and said, who the fuck are you? And I said, who the fuck are you? And we kind of like had this, we just like latched onto each other. She had an Emmy for making somebody very famous. And she put me on set one day. She said, what are you doing at 4:30 in the morning? Be at the Hudson Hotel at 4. She wouldn't tell me what it's for. And she said, bring your magic bag. And so I did. And it was honestly, it was life-changing. She's a goddess, she's incredible. And it turned out to be Lady Gaga's directorial debut of Marry the Night with Darius Kanji, Nicholas Ponty, and it was so random because some of the people that I went to Vidal Sassoon with in Los Angeles were there on set, spearheading that glam department. So I was in charge of hair. And I met her mother. I met everybody. So we're grinding it out. I did a great job. And then I was called back to do Thanksgiving Day special at Sacred Heart. So 2 big feathers in my cap for that.
Yeah.
And then, so here I am in New York, working with Lady Gaga, my dream that I wanted to do, check, check. And then a few months later, I go into negotiations to go on world tour, which didn't happen. So I ended up moving back to San Francisco and starting all over again because I went through everything in New York. I had a breakup. There was nothing left, not even my pride hardly. So I come back with my tail tucked between my legs. It didn't happen because I outbid myself, just so you know. So I moved back to San Francisco. 6 months into being back here, I was on a set like this. We were doing this awesome photo shoot, and then my phone blew up. It was just blowing up. Live Nation, her management was calling me, and they go, and I finally picked it up at noon. They're like, are you ready? I go, for what? They go, you're going on world tour. I go, I am. They go, what is your rate? And I go, I don't care. I'll take the day rate. Just get me there. Well, this was a Monday, and I was in Bulgaria by Thursday.
Jesus.
So yeah. So dreams do come true, and you really just have to, I've learned a lot, and I'm not young, and so you have to really learn how to not live in fear, say yes, and there really are no blockages in your way except yourself. There literally, the sky's the limit. You could literally do and have anything you want.
Noted. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I believe it now. I hope you do too. We're wrapping up here, but because we have more artists. What's one artistic decision you've made that you could edit out?
Okay, so I did this series of work once that was very difficult. And you use a palette knife and use gold and medium gel, and you do it on a white canvas, and you really can't see what you're doing. So you score everything in and you let it dry. And I did this, I still have it. I did this really big painting, and it's called Insexual. So it's insects crawling up a wall, but it's very well done. It almost looks ancient, but with cobalt blues and it's silvers and it's encrusted in paint. So it's a method of timing and then taking some of it away, the paint. And so the story goes, a gallerist wanted to pick me up, and I was nobody then. I was just an artist trying to make it. And he met with me, and he loved, out of all the work I've done, he loved that. And he goes, I'll pick you up and I want to do a show with you, but I only want you to do that work. So the lesson is really listen, humble yourself, and think twice before you say no. Because I think I would have been further along in my career if I would have heeded that warning and lesson a little bit more.
Because you declined?
I did. I declined that offer. And then when I opened Venus and Victory, what did I do? I went back to that message from him, and I created a whole body of work based on that technique.
Wow.
Yeah. And
Oh, I see.
yeah.
Okay.
I wanted to challenge myself finally. Sorry. I wanted to challenge myself finally and see if I could do it. And I did. I did like 47 pieces.
That's so powerful. Way to
Yeah.
bring it full circle. Wow.
And it wasn't as hard as I thought.
Oh, so
So
you
it's
declined
a
because
lesson.
of you felt it was hard, or I thought I
back
assumed
then-
you felt like insulted, like
No,
non-multi.
I didn't want somebody, so ego.
Right.
Ego. I didn't want somebody dictating what I do.
Right. Yeah.
So that's the thing, you know. That's the
Totally.
lesson.
Yeah.
One, I thought it was ego for me. I should have let that guard down. Two, I didn't want to have somebody dictate what I do. Three, I thought I couldn't do it. Those are all wrong. But you know, I can't live in regret, and
Right.
we all have a path.
I mean, I haven't seen that work, but I'm sure it was 10 times more powerful with the whole history once you finally circled back to it, you know?
Yeah.
So the work's thankful. Yeah. Okay, and this is the final one. Is your home, I haven't seen your home, is it full of art? I assume it is, but I'm also curious if maybe it's more bare because you need to think.
Oh, Nick.
Oh,
so
Nick.
when I came back when I moved back to San Francisco after the pandemic, I moved into this brand new renovated studio. It was really sweet. And there was something really nice about being super stripped down. In my heart, I'm a minimalist. And all my stuff was in storage in West Palm Beach. And so I really wanted to savor and live in that moment for as long as I could. There's something really freeing about it.
Yeah.
But because I have so many businesses and because I have so many interests, it's just filled with art and like supplies and, you know, I don't have a lot of space anymore.
Sure.
So it's overwhelming sometimes. I'd rather be that Zen minimalist. And so I need to make room for that again.
Comes in waves.
It's freeing,
Sure.
right?
David, I'm very thankful to have this conversation with you. I want to do a part 2 and a 3 if you'll permit it, because there's.
Of course.
Okay, well I'm good. I'm glad because.
You're Nick Pim. Of course I'm going to do part 2 and 3.
I hope that's the reason. Yeah. There's just stories abound and perspective abound and a life well earned. So I just appreciate your dedication to the cause. And and for cultivating community. Like, you've brought me in, we're around pieces that you've contributed to bringing in. So I just want to honor you for that work, you know?
Thank you so much.
And while I still have you, what's coming up? This will probably come out in a couple weeks or so. So give me like about a month or so. What's on the horizon for you?
Well,
how can we find you? Just everything.
Well, right now we're sitting in KARL. It was our first offsite group show on a massive scale.
Yeah.
You know, we're showing 10 galleries here, 40 artists, 104 works of art. So it's been massive. It's had a lot of optics on it, a lot of attention. We're coming to a close in about a week. And I just got pulled into the Green Street Fund / Civic Joy Fund, which I'm so excited to work with them, and they've given me a lot of creative clout to activate the back area of where I live at 20 Cosmo Place. And so that's gonna be, you know, this just shows that there is community, there's culture, and we're gonna activate that space with music and projection and bites and community murals and I'm just so excited about that.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to be working with them and working with Nick, and this is my greatest joy. And so I just want to do more of this, and I'm so grateful to you.
I'm so grateful to you as well.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
Great questions.
Of course. Good. Well, thank you. David Reposar, everybody.
Of course, thank you.
Yep.